It's a show where we talk about the power of your mind
to change your world around you,
to literally affect
the fabric of your reality.
We talk about this feeling of hope
and joy
and relief. And that is what being aware of your flow does. It gives you a feeling of power again in your lives.
Breathe.
I'm Summer McStravick, and welcome to another episode of Flowdreaming. Oh man, Happy New Year. I have to admit, being the futurist that I am, all the work I've done with future self, teaching, co-creating, and manifesting, I am still not prepared for 2020. It just, something about it feels magnificent. It feels like it has magnitude. It's a change into a new decade, you know? I mean, we did Y2K, we did 2010, but 2020, right? Now we're really getting into the age of the stars, you know, of the future, of interplanetary travel. I mean, gives me shivers. So, thank you guys for spending a little time with me as we clean out the old year. Welcome in the new. This is episode number 617, How to Enter a Decade. Now, I'm mindful that only a few episodes back, I told you how I'm a teacher, but I'm also a seeker. And I seem to be tipping a lot again between the two, going back into being a seeker. So today's episode, I'm going to give you some of my insights, working with flow, working with energy, reading future, past, all of the work I've done inside people's minds and flows for the last several decades. I will be giving you some advice and direction based on this. I'll also be suggesting things that I'm going to try, that I'm seeking and pushing into as we go forward into the new decade. So I know, first of all, little housekeeping. Thank you guys who are downloading this podcast, right? I've been asking for the last couple of shows. I am on a pilgrimage to figure out the new iTunes algorithm, and I need your help. So if there's one thing you can do, if you enjoy the content of value of this program at all, if it has changed you or affected you, please go to iTunes or Google Play right now and rate the show. Leave a note, just tap in a few stars, whatever you feel like, and then download 5 more episodes. Now, you've got 617 episodes to choose from. So download any of those that make you feel good. And if you're using my Flowdreaming app, you don't have to download. You can just start playing them. Play like the first 3 minutes of 5 of them. Anything like that is going to help iTunes recognize, this is a classic show. Let's shuffle it around again. And it's going to take all of us to do this, to keep this show out there spreading and getting this word about flow dreaming and emotional reconditioning, and the fact that you can co-create and you can create a damn fine life for yourself if you put a little bit of emotional elbow grease in. So thank you guys. And yes, sometimes there's an ask in this show. Sometimes I do talk about my private sessions, me school, etc. I have made a conscious decision for years that I don't bring other advertising into this program. I simply share with you further tools for flow dreaming, and frankly, that's what supports the creation and making of this show for you for the last 15 years now. So, 2020, how do you enter a decade? Ooh. So to me, 2020 has a vibe to it, right? It's got this feeling like it's kind of big. It's kind of ill-fitting, perhaps. It's also a moment I feel like corners can be turned. Things that have been going down the wrong path can be righted. There's a sense of renewal and renewed optimism, at least for me. And I'd like you to kind of reach forward in your year. Reach forward empathically in your flow. If you flow dream, you should know how to do this. Reaching forward into your flow, seeing what may be coming up for you. What does 2020 feel like? Doesn't it kind of feel like, you're a little kid trying on your mom's dress-up clothes and putting the lipstick all over your face? That's my sense. Maybe it's different for you. But get a sense of what it means. Like, what are your expectations? What are your emotional expectations as you enter the year? Because one, it's going to clue you into what you're going to end up co-creating, right? Because what you feel is what you're going to get. And for me, I'm feeling a big year, and it's something I have got to grow into. So there's something in my life, likewise, I expect I'll be growing into something in my energy, in my soul self that I'll be growing into. Like, I get it. Maybe you're opposite though. Maybe you're like, 2020 is nailed. Like, I've got this down. It's all just about building on a foundation. Different feeling. That's you. So that's the very first thing that I want to suggest and or share with you guys. What is the vibe that you already have for the year ahead? And you know what? If it's fear, right? I'm a little scared. The world seems a little topsy-turvy. You understand that. You can choose, do I want to keep that feeling of fear, indecision, worry, or do I want to replace it? Because that's what you and I do as powerful people, right? That's what we do in the land of flow dreaming. So, second thing that I want to suggest for you all, I have a little list here, top 5, 7, something along those lines. Second thing, once you have the vibe of the year ahead, please come and share with us at flowdreaming.com. The Facebook group, you can find it through there or just go straight to Facebook. Look for I Love Flow Dreaming. Join our group. Share what your intentions are. I will be asking all of my students in Born to Make, in Me School. I'll be asking all of my flow dreamers who join me on my social media channels. What are you making this year? What does this year mean? Please come add to the conversation. We value your voice and your insights. Third thing, now we're getting into the meat of it. So, oftentimes when we are planning our future, right? We're sketching our future self for the year, for the decade, right? We are looking at things that don't work. Like, this year, I'm going to make money. Or this year, I'm finally going to find, a partner. This year, I'm finally going to change jobs. This year, I'm finally going to lose my 20 pounds. This year, okay. It's all right to be aware of those things that aren't working. And, I do a lot of private work. I've been talking lately about the fact that I'm bringing in new private clients. First time in a long time. I've been opening those doors again. If that's you, come reach out to me, literally email me. But I work with them and say, look, I love looking for patterns and blocks. But the way we do it is that we move forward first. We push into something that feels stretchy, that feels big for you, that feels unknown, because your pattern and block are going to reveal themselves right there. You don't have to look. You're just going to run into it. I guarantee you. Guarantee it. So don't even bother saying, well, I'm going to look and see where I'm blocked or see this or that. Don't. You don't need to look backwards in this process. We only look forward. So this is the biggest chunky thing here I'm giving you. Oh, that sounds terrible, huh? Like, like dog food coming back up again. The big chunky, never mind. Anyway, don't look at blocks. Look instead, focus instead right now, year ahead, on the new pieces of yourself that you want to craft. It is not about ridding yourself of the things that don't work. That'll happen as you stretch. Instead, your eye, your heart, your flow is totally fixed on what new pieces of myself do I want to craft? Because that's what you're doing. You're crafting them, manifesting them, co-creating them, growing into them, name it, whatever you like. But you see some part of yourself that you say, I want to be more like this. Not that there's anything bad necessarily with where I am at now, but I want more of this. And maybe that new piece of yourself that you want to create is more financial freedom or more time freedom. Or I want to feel beautiful and luscious inside my body, fit, healthy, wake with energy. Maybe I'm creating a sense in me that I am never scared or depressed again. Maybe I want to eliminate pain from my heart and my life, right? So what do I want to make? I want to make a pain-free body. I want to make a person who is bright and joyful. So I'm not looking at depression. I'm not looking at pain. Those would be considered the blocks. Instead, you see what I'm doing? I'm shifting it here into what you want to be and create instead. And yes, you can use contrast to say, not that, this. Sometimes that's easy. Not depressed. Instead, I want to feel like excited and go-getting and happy. Then that is what you're making on yourself this year. You're creating in yourself. I will be a joyful person. I want to create a joyful personality. I'm curious to see what kind of work I can do to get there. Because every time I practice flow dreaming, every time I do this kind of emotional reconditioning, energetic reconditioning, and by reconditioning, I kind of mean it just like that, right? You take something that's kind of worn and flawed, and you spruce it up. You take it to the next level. You can hear me. I'm rubbing my hands together like I'm polishing a watch right now. That's what we do with flow dreaming. So, what new pieces of yourself do you want to craft? Like, that's the biggie. When you're writing out New Year's resolutions, all of that regular stuff, I want to see something at the very top of that list. This is the new piece of myself I want to see emerge this year because it will make me happy. Right? Because it will make me happy. I want to emerge as a great mom this year. I want to emerge as a star athlete this year. I want to emerge as someone who graduates with honors this year. I want to emerge as someone who took my work and turned things completely around and made it work for me this year. Like, nail it. Don't go overboard. Don't pick 15 of these things. One. I want one. One big one. All right, moving on. This is, I think, number 3? No, 4. Okay, so I just said, don't think about blocks and patterns, right? Bear with me, because now I'm going to reverse that. Oh, no, I'm modifying that. I said, don't focus on the year ahead on all the things that are wrong that need fixing, okay? Instead, choose the pieces in you that you want to develop, grow, and reveal. Now, after you have done that, then I want you to make it a goal to rid yourself of just one unhealthy block or pattern. One unhealthy way of thinking, feeling, and co-creating. One. This is strategic. I'm not just messing around. The reason is I want you focused on creativity and creation as opposed to destruction and lack. Most of us are thinking about what's not working all the time. The very first thing I need you to do is shift. Think about what's working and what you want to grow and become more of. After you've created that shift or that pivot, then you think, what is one of that whole list of things that I don't like, that I want to take care of? This is maybe where you'll feel like, well, Summer, come on, you're underestimating me, hon. I need to do more than just one. No. Because if the one that you choose is core enough inside you, you won't need to choose more. The only way we end up with these insane to-do lists of New Year's resolutions and things to do next year is if we're not really reaching the core that sort of underpins all those things. I mean, here's an example. Let's say your core desire is to remove any sense inside yourself that you don't have enough time for things in your life, right? That's a big one because you may have written out a list of more time for the gym, more time with my children, less time at work, more time on self-care, right? All of these things that you want. But there's a central commonality, which is you have a lack thought that there is simply not enough time in your life for you to be happy and content experiencing all the things that you want. And it manifests in all of these different areas. So you can really shorten this list by just saying, my goal this year is to eliminate all of my lack thinking around time. And trust me, you're going to see it all month long, all year long. Oh, Mom, I'd come visit you, but, I don't have the time right now to get off work and fly out. Oh, yes, if I had the time, I would get to the gym 3 days a week, and then I would lose the 20 pounds. If I had the time, I would XYZ. So my goal, my one single unhealthy blocker pattern that I know I've been working on this sucker for about 2 to 3 years now. And if you listen to my old podcast, you know that every year I pick something that I want to grow and develop in me. One year I said I'm going to go beyond fear. I did a really damn fine job of it. The next year I said I'm going to be in balance. I did a so-so job of it because I realized pretty much a year or two afterwards that I have one thing in me that needs to go. It's my lack thinking, catastrophe thinking. So lack thinking is different than fear. I'm on a tangent, right? I digress. Lack thinking or catastrophe thinking is when your mind immediately thinks, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? What's the worst thing that probably will happen? What do I need to get ready for? Let's think about all the things that aren't working out or aren't going well for me or why I can't. Right? That whole messy stew of them. And I have tackled lack thinking over and over and over. But what happens is you go through life, things happen to you, and you kind of get to the new level of healing that lack thinking. Which is what's happened to me, right? Did cancer, recovered from cancer, have had some things go on in my own personal life in the last couple of years, right? That kind of inflamed the lack thinking again. And I thought, okay, I'm being asked to go deeper. So for me, this decade, the core that I'm going into is I want to see and eliminate lack thinking whenever I experience it. Whenever I experience it. So this is a really tall order, right? This is going to be multiple times a day. Because for most of us, frankly, it's multiple times a day. It's, oh my God, I hope I'm not late for work. Well, that's a lack thought. How come not, I'm going to waltz into work and it's going to be wonderful. It's just like knee jerk. So for me, that's what I'm working on. If I can reach the end of a year and say my lack thinking is reduced by 50%. You know what that ends up telling my flow and my future? What I end up, the philosophy of flow dreaming. What you are is what you attract. What you are is what you align to. So if I have a lot of lack thinking going on in me, catastrophe thinking, flow lines up and says, well, here you go. You're always right. Whatever you feel is right. So you get more lack. You get more catastrophe. You get more of that. But if I reduce it by 50%, holy shamoly, that's my goal. Now, what do you want to get rid of? Maybe yours is a little different. Maybe it's like self-sabotage, right? Every time I start to have things work out, I immediately retract and do something so that I can stay in that small, comfortable, miserable spot. Right? I want to see every act of self-sabotage that I participate in inside myself, inside my life. I want it to just be a bright neon blinking light outside my bedroom window that I'm so annoyed with, but it won't go away until I take it on and dismantle it. So that's what I mean by picking one core, big, deep thing. Okay? You don't need more than one. You get that one biggie, it's going to flow over into all these other areas of your life and watch as those areas improve, they will improve. They will get so much better for you. Happier, healthier, more financially secure. List goes on. All right, number 5. Oh, wait, it's really not a number 5. Because speaking of lack cycle, I wanted you guys to know that I went through and looked at all my past episodes. Yes, all 616 of them. And I pulled out the lack cycle episodes that I've done through the years. As far as I know, I don't know that anybody else teaches necessarily like this, the lack cycle, as I call it. But once you get into it, you really start to get it. And you're like, oh my God, it is a lack cycle, right? It's around and around. And once you start seeing where it's manifesting in your life, it's like these little spinning whirlwinds that you just want to reach in and pluck them away. So I'm going to give you the episodes in Flowdreaming to refer to. And maybe this will be the 5 that you download. Perfect. Oh, I just thought of that. Here they are. Episodes. Write these down. 412, 413, 414, 415, 521, and 522. And what is that? 6, probably at least 5 hours, maybe more, of lack cycle breaking training. That didn't sound right. Lack cycle breaking training? Nah. So lack cycle breaking training. You got to listen to these, right? This will be a holy grail for a lot of you who are like me, who got into manifesting because we wanted to control stuff, because we didn't like the fact that it wasn't working the way we wanted, and we wanted to be more powerful, but if we could control more, but the lack thinking. Anyway, go listen. Good tip. All right, let's move on. Number 6. This year, I want you to think about sketching your future self. No, not this year, this month. Do it this month. I mean, do it all year long, but especially in the weeks ahead, right? This is the moment, the potent moment. And we reach potent moments like this sometimes. Gosh, I think I have a podcast episode called Potent Moments. In fact, I know I do. Potent moment. I don't remember what number it is, but you could look that one up too. I want you to sketch your future self. Who is she? What does he look like? What does he do? How does he feel? What experiences are you having? What is your future self like? And why is this future self out of reach? You figure that out, you've got a gold mine, right? Find your future self. How do you feel? What does it look like? Look at your present self. Why is there a gap? Where's the gulf? What's that all about? You will discover power leak after power leak after power leak, filling the gap between you now and you future. You don't know what power leaks are? Me School. I got to say one more time, Me School. And like I mentioned recently, Me School is changing its shape and form in the new year. It will be half as long, just as potent, perhaps more in your affordability range. It's changing shape. And power leaks are a huge part of Me School, getting rid of them. So you need to discover your future self, what you look and feel like. Nail it, right? This becomes your guiding light. This becomes your beacon. Everything that you're working toward, every decision you make, you're asking the question, does this support and promote me developing into that future self? Or does it retract or delay me developing into that future self? Oh, woo. Questions like that give me shivers. But they're true. The last thing I want to share with you, because I know it's a busy end of year, and I appreciate you giving me a little of your time. By the way, if you're listening to this in March 2020, congrats to you. I mean, I think that's fabulous. Years can start at any point. They do not always have to hang on the edge of December 31st, right? Start your year on March 13th or January 29th. It doesn't matter. But this year, I want you to commit to stretch. Stretch. Where are you going to stretch? So stretching feels good, right? I mean, just look at it from like an athletic standpoint. Stretching feels good. But it also can kind of feel weird, right? I mean, I get on the stretch machines at the gym, put my legs up and my hamstrings are like, no, you don't, no. And the other part of me is like, yes, you will. And then eventually it feels good. And I know that I've just really gifted myself something. What is your stretch this year? What is that thing you're going to do, become, create, feel? That's a stretch. And you know what? Stretches are not always about like, well, I'm going to have this enormous coaching company and I'm going to like sell millions of dollars worth of my oil and it's not like always money and work related. A stretch could be simple, but really hard for some of us. Like my stretch this year is to feel totally content 90% of the time. The other 10%, I'm co-creating and I'm manifesting, and that feels delicious too. But that's when I feel hungry, right? I need to feel a little hungry because that gives me my goals, gives me the things I want to play with in life. But the other 90% is total contentment. That would be a stretch for a lot of us. I mean, like, raise your hand if you think you can do that or you're already doing that. 90% of the time, totally content, happy and joy-filled. If you are, great, pick another stretch. Most of us are like, no, yeah, my contentment's like 30% of the time, and I know exactly when. It's when I'm laying in bed, watching Netflix, munching on cookies, petting my cat, I'm content. So what does a stretch mean to you? And be broad and liberal in your thinking. We are not just talking about pushing yourself in business or things like that, where the coaching community today usually applies it. This stretch is maybe as simple as I start wearing bright and beautiful clothes again and letting people see my body, even though I'm not as proud of it as I was when I was, 20 years younger. That's a stretch. But it's also you saying, I'm going to reclaim ownership of myself and power in myself. Stretch. Ooh, I love those kind of stretches. So there you have it, my friends. Quick and dirty. Nice 7 ideas to get your new decade off on the totally right track. Now, I can't leave you without also mentioning more resources, all right? Like I said before, my resources are what power the podcast and the production and everything for you. So think of it this way. You could be listening to a mattress commercial instead, or some sort of e-learning company ad in your podcast, but you're not. You get to hear me. My Future Self is an amazing flow dream that I created that you can work on cheap, right? You can go to the flowdreaming.com store, download it there. You can download the app, Flowdreaming app, from your mobile phone and purchase it there. Play it. It's going to guide you, walk you right through creating who you're going to become in the future. The other thing is I will be doing some private sessions in January. I usually do them in the spring, but I upped the timeline because it just kind of feels so right with like this big month, coming up for us. So think about those. I'll be sending emails. If you haven't gotten an email from me in a time, and I mean a little bit of time, like in the last 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 2 months, probably means at one point or another you unsubscribed. And sometimes we even do that accidentally. You get really sick of when somebody's saying, my program's closing, I'm going to unsubscribe you. Unfortunately, what happens though then is all the other good emails, the juicy ones that come out throughout the year, you don't get those either, including when the private sessions are coming out. So if you haven't gotten them, please resubscribe. And if you still, hey, if you're really serious, just email me, right? And I or someone here will get back to you about it. But I am 100% committed to helping any of you guys who are as serious as me make this decade profoundly fulfilling. eliminating any lack thinking, our decade can be profoundly fulfilling, beautiful, rich, free. Filled with freedom, time freedom, money freedom, healthy. And even when and if things come in that you have to deal with, you can have tools in your pocket where you say, I know just how to handle this, and flow through it. So I'm going to leave you with those thoughts. Hop on over to the Flowdreaming store, get my future self. Think about contacting me for a private or to become a private student of mine in 2020. I have opened some slots and am hopefully, possibly, for you, still looking. Maybe not. They sometimes fill up rather quickly. So there you go, my darlings. Have a beautiful new year, a beautiful new January. Go get some flow dreaming in. Make sure it's part of your daily routine. I know I should have added that to my list, but honestly, I didn't want to overload you. I gave you 7, and I tried to give you some new ones that I didn't think anybody else would necessarily be saying to you. All right. Take care. I love you all, and mwah, I'll see you in 2020. Sorry for the horn. Hi, my dears. Would you like to work with me privately, one-on-one? Because I would like to work with you. In fact, I usually have 1 or 2 spots open for this kind of deep, transformative one-on-one work with me. We go deep into you, your life, where you're going, where you've been, and what's holding you back. We'll spend hours together going into flow, where I personally lead you, guide you through the experience, guide you into the next step, into creating these custom crafted flow dreams just for you. Now, if you know anything about me, you know that I have been doing this work for a long, long time. So I bring all of this knowledge, experience, both real world and practical in terms of going big, business building, whatever it is that you're trying to create, the deep simmering desire in your heart. I will help you get it into the world in a much, much bigger way than it is now. All it takes is you trusting yourself that you can do it, that we can do this together, and that it's going to be worth it to you to make this kind of inner investment in your life. Look, we're in a new decade. When is it going to happen for you? When is it going to be time for you to reach out and really give your extraordinary greatness into this world? If you're interested in becoming one of my private personal students, all you have to do is go to flowdreaming.com/coaching or send me an email, summer@flowdreaming.com. So if you're ready to really rock it out, go big, you've seen what I've done, you want to have a similar plan of your own to follow, then I am here for you in private coaching. I've got your back.